Hi guys, it's Freya here. So recently, I had a lot of thoughts about the state of affairs of psychology and how, the whole sort of mental therapy um, area, gray area, and how we really cannot deal with individuals, or society can't deal with individuals who are different, who might perceive what we call, or what we agreed as the reality, that they see things differently, and we are very quickly to judge these individuals and treat them with medication. I think it's actually quite a serious subject because it seems that more and more youngsters are diagnosed with all kinds of labels, ADHD and being schizophrenic and everything. And I do believe that this needs to be sorted out because it's not right. And this morning I had this idea about how we deal. Somebody behaves unusual, more than is socially acceptable. So then we don't know what to do with that person, so we take them to a psychiatrist who has studied a long time, who's somewhat an expert in the mind, whatever that means. And then we gather evidence. So there's an occurrence and we gather evidence and more evidence. And in some persistent cases or more complex cases, we get more and more so-called experts to make a point. And that point is usually a theory that was drawn up. It's almost like a guilty verdict. So that theory or guilty verdict, we are out there to prove. And we get more and more experts in, and some things don't fit. So I'm sure they are just discarded. And then we just take the bits that fit into that theory or that verdict, and we judge the person, and we sentence them, and then we imprison them either with medication, because medication is a fucking prison, or we put them in an institution where they will never get better. Never. But this is so ridiculous. All the evidence that is really gathered is absolutely circumstantial. And it's fucking biased too. Because we're trying to prove some sort of theory. We try to get an angle and then prove that that angle is right. And if that angle is not right, we're trying to find another angle and gather evidence. If you think it's so wrong, because if you think in the court of law, nobody can be acquitted just merely on circumstantial evidence. Every lawyer knows that. So why in the court of psychology or the court of the mind can we get away with this? It's absolutely ridiculous. And a lot of the times we give people death sentences. So they, in psychology, a death sentence is basically being put under medication, that is so heavy that they are completely silenced or can't do anything, they feel sluggish, they gain weight, they're not stimulated at all. So basically a death sentence. Might as well bury them alive. Nice one. Nice what society does to people. So, these ideas came to me when I was watching the movie Zodiac recently with Jake Gyllenhaal. I don't know if anyone saw that. At first I thought, oh, why am I watching this even? But the case is stunning. There was this serial killer, and there were two guys, or, the police was sort of on the case, and these killings they all had the same handwriting, and the serial killer would also send notes to the newspaper. And the circumstantial evidence that this one guy that they targeted was the guy, the circumstantial evidence was overwhelming. I mean, it was literally punching them in the face. And these murders were so horrific, but he could not be acquitted. I think they tried something about 30 years. 30 years, this case. And this case is still open because the guy they thought was the murderer died in the meantime. So this case of the Zodiac murders is still open. So he could never be acquitted. Isn't that just fascinating? So we cannot acquit someone, and rightly so, under circumstantial evidence. But we do that all the time with people who might just be seeing the world or the reality, which is, a transient, fluid concept anyway. So if they can't agree on what everyone else is seeing, then we sentence them. So I'm really bothered about that, and I think things need to change. And I have admiration for the psychiatry and psychology, and I'm sure it has valid points. But I think we need to be so careful to judge and sentence people like that, because it's a life sentence. Medication is a fucking life sentence, so this needs to be done. Sorry to be so serious today, but I just wanted to get this out there. Thank you for listening.